The ultimate reality check. How you doing? My name is Franklin Cruz. This is an episode on real estate geniuses. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm a true investor and a true developer, founder of trueinvestors.com. I spent the last 20 years inside real estate investing and for the last 5 years full-time as a real estate developer. So my projects have been on the front page of the newspaper before, and we actually even sold one of our developments to KB Homes for over $1.25 million. And then they turned around and named the street after my family, Cruz Court. You ever want to look it up? It's 7187 Cruz Court, Lakeland, Florida. So in today's episode, I'm going to be going over the ultimate reality check of why a lot of real estate investors and developers are going broke, they're stuck, or they're frustrated, period. And so I'm going to go over those aspects so then you don't get into the same aspect as well. And so what I've found as well, we're going to go over excuses, understanding what timing is, understanding the right time, understanding when to be afraid, and just kind of like cutting through a lot of things. So I'm going to go over that right now. So the very first thing is we're going to be covering over the fear and the illusion that keeps investors and developers broke, meaning you could be property heavy and cash poor, right? The lie of playing it safe and why the security is really kind of a trap. So we're going to go over that as well. And how to wake up and stop taking risks and move forward. No matter what, just keep moving forward. We're going to go over that. And then why real estate investing and developing rewards action takers, not baby sissy excuse makers. All right, so let's hit it. The biggest thing is why fear is an illusion and how it keeps people broke. Most people don't live their life just kind of waking up and saying, hey, I just want to have fear. No, they don't. So what they do is they kind of feel to fail. So in their head, they've already came up with the assumption of I may fail at this. So there's the fear aspect of 99% of it is just in your mind. Because really, when you think about it, you haven't even done the thing, right? So if you're investing, you haven't even bought the property. So what's the fear of it? Do the math, do the numbers, look at it from a logical standpoint, and then make an educated decision on how you actually want to move forward. See, success is not about just avoiding fear. It's about embracing what you're feeling and then understanding, okay, stop with the feelings. What's the reality? I'm buying it for X. It needs X amount of work and time, and I've already got bids for it. I feel really good that these people can actually, execute on this and move forward. Other than saying, well, I don't know. What if this happens? What if that happens? To me, fear is just coming because you're underprepared and you haven't done the work. When you want certainty is because you've done the work or you're with somebody who's done the work. And so you have certainty. It's almost like I'm in a relationship with somebody who's a medical doctor. So I have certainty if something happens to me, she is going to have the capability of reviving me higher than, Philip over here sitting in the Chinese buffet line. Like Philip, probably, he hasn't told me, but he may not be a doctor, right? Over here, she is a medical doctor who's been practicing for 20 years. So if something ever happened, the probability of me being in a better position is Philip or the other person. I don't want to look at it. Think about that. So it's the same thing. I have certainty because I've done the work, meaning I didn't become a doctor, but I'm equated to somebody who is a doctor, right? So you have to look at that aspect. So for example, if you want to progress in your real estate investing business and development, the only reason why you don't have certainty is because you haven't had the mentorship or the outline to get there. So you haven't done the work. So obviously, if you haven't done the work, guess what? You should worry. That shit's not going to work out because you're winging it. And anytime you're winging something, the probability of you actually getting the thing is probably pretty low. But if you're learning from what you're doing and you're getting good guidance, then the probability is higher, right? So your fear factor, which is not even real, is actually going to decrease and your certainty factor raises. What if the word fear didn't even exist in the American language? What if that actually was not even an option? Would you be fearful? No, you would actually just get to work and get better at the thing, period. Or make a choice. Don't do it. So, for example, I've jumped out of a plane before, skydiving. So when I went skydiving, I had no fear because I already made the decision. I'm going to go skydiving and I'm going to do a tandem jump, meaning somebody who's 10 times more experienced than me is going to hitch themselves to my body and we're going to jump out of a plane, period. And why are we doing that? Because we're American and we could do cool shit like that. That's it. That's the only reason why you jump out of a plane, because you can. Okay? If you're in the military, different. There's drop zones. And nowadays there's drones. So there's really no need for anybody jumping out of a plane anymore. But it is what it is. So you have to look at it from the aspect of it of just what skill sets do I need to create certainty so I can move forward and not have this thing called fear, period. Because the other aspect of it is the illusion of safety. Why play safe is really the most dangerous move. So people think that having a stable job, a 401k, and staying in that safe zone is safe. The reality check is the world changes really fast. Don't believe me? Remember COVID? Knock, knock. Yeah, it happened. Changed everything, transformed the world on its head. We found out that, in my opinion, through the research that I've done, governments can make decisions very quickly on aspects that we have no control of and flip everything on its head. Home prices went from $150,000 to $300,000 in 4 years because of inflation. We overspent. That raises inflation really high. Everything gets really expensive. Now, Franklin, but you don't understand. People were dying. Just FYI. Do your homework. The amount of people that die in a car crash every single week beats out how many people died in COVID by far. It's not even on the radar of the top 100 things that kill people. But you don't see right now them regulating peanuts, which actually kills a lot of people every single week, more than COVID did. Or you don't see them regulating processed foods, which kills people every single day, all the time, because of heart attacks, clogs up your arteries. There's nothing great about processed food, period. So if you keep doing that, guess what's going to happen, right? So you don't see them regulating that. It was a chosen thing. So you have to just realize safety is an illusion. Your biggest aspect is there's no true security. Either you build wealth or you're depending on someone else's decision, period. If you're an employee, you're dependent on somebody else's decision. Or you could start going the route of becoming a true investor, a true developer, or be very successful in your own business, whatever that is, and you want to learn from development and start moving in that direction for what I believe true security is building your own. And it's not just building your own, but building your own skill sets that a skill set is recession proof. A skill set is a non-taxable item. A skill set, you can create revenue for the rest of your life. I thank God I have the skill set of being an investor and a developer because I understand how to create revenue. Now, sometimes I have to create a lot of revenue. And sometimes I learned a lot when I was going through a divorce and going in and out of courts in 4 different court systems. And I learned a lot, and I'm grateful for it because I learned about law. But it also put me on the hole on certain things as well, on certain aspects. I didn't know that half of my properties were going to go to another person that also we had private money mortgages on as well. And then the judge says, Franklin, you have to cover all the private mortgages, but she's going to get all the properties paid off free and clear, and she keeps 100% of the profit. I didn't even know that was legal, but it can happen because in family court, it's basically whatever the judge says goes, and you can't fight it. It is what it is. So I could complain about it and say, woe is me, or I could say, okay, got to move forward, figure it out, I'll be fine. So what I've learned is the biggest lie in society is it sells you about job security and stability, but truly, is it secure? Did you feel secure during COVID? Do you feel secure when prices go up and then you don't have enough revenue in the bank because you haven't leveled up your skill set? That's why I'm a huge believer in individuals going the route of entrepreneurship or being a true investor or developer or just being an investor in a company for yourself that you're creating, because that's security. The mindset shift from playing defense to offense is really on the line. You don't want to always play defense. You don't want to just say, hey, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to keep on going to work and everything's going to work out. I hate to tell you, if you don't raise your skill sets, it doesn't work that way. If you are one of those that are tired of playing defense, you want to move forward, you want to be a real estate investor, a true investor, right? Somebody that actually is egoless, learns with integrity, moves forward, that you're not playing defense anymore, but you want to play offense right now, go on trueinvestors.com. I would say fill out the application, see if you qualify for our mentorship program. You may or you may not. That's all good. If you're a property seller as well and you're listening to this because you want to gain more education on the investing side and you want to sell your piece of property or land, there's a form there for you too. So again, we're going to keep on moving forward. See if you qualify. Again, trueinvestors.com. All right. So the other thing is life happens, no excuses. You just got to kind of move forward and that's it. Look, I go from an old saying when I was in the military, and it looks like this. So the smallest violin in the world, my drill sergeant used to tell me this all the time. You're going to love this, David. So smallest violin is basically they would do this. They would start doing, right? And that's anytime you say, hey, I'm hurting. I just ran. This is like really miserable. And you start doing this. Smallest violin in the world. Well, I found the smallest violin in the world, and here it is. So anytime you have an excuse, anytime that you're whining, anytime that you're being a little sissy boy, any single time for grown men that are still has to get breast milk from your own mother, that you need to stop and you need to think about those excuses. Because if you are a grown man or a grown adult, you stopped breastfeeding a long time ago. So stop and take responsibility, look at the situation for what it is, write it down on a sheet of paper, do a T-bar if you have to, pros, cons, what is my goal, what is the facts, how do I move forward, fast, slow, creative solution, and just move forward. Don't have this mentality of a small, tiny violin that only sissies make and people that have excuses make. Do you really think a real man is going to come to his wife and say, hey, babe, yeah, things aren't working out. I'm not going to be able to buy food for the baby. Yeah, you're going to have to get that OnlyFans account. No, sissy boy, you're going to have to get the OnlyFans account if that's what's going to happen. No, I'm just kidding. So it's like you make things happen. That's it. You don't have any kind of excuses. You make things happen. That's it. So that's how I personally look at it. What if the word excuse didn't exist? Then what would you do? Like, really think about that. That word is a created word. I'm not sure if you understand this, but our language was created, okay? There was a time frame, I'm not sure if you know, let's go all the way back in history. When we came to America, people were here. They were called Indians. And yes, in the history of the Indians, if you ever actually read it, we slaughtered the hell out of them. It wasn't a good thing, okay? We took their land, period. And then we created a language because we were in England, Europe, and it moved over here. So the language that you're learning was a created language. The Oxford Dictionary with a lot of words, right? Over 2.5 million words are in the Oxford Dictionary with definitions. That was those words were created. The definitions were created. So in my thing is, what kills a ton of people is assumptions and excuses. So if their word did not exist, what would your ass do? I'll wait. Exactly. So the biggest thing right now that you could do is keep moving forward. Sylvester Stallone says it best. Keep moving forward. Learn from what you just went through and keep moving. Most people, a setback happens, they quit like a little sissy boy, right? Look, at the end of the day, for me, my mom passed away when I was 10 years old. I didn't meet my biological father until I was 19. The person who adopted me, Eli Cruz, amazing individual. He adopted me right before my mom passed. But after my mom passed, he wasn't the same person anymore. Rightfully so. He was in his 20s. And he had a 10-year-old. His wife just died, and he had a newborn kid. I give him a pass. But what I always look at, if times get hard, who am I going to go to? My grandfather died. My grandmother died, who I call them, who are my family. My mom died. My biological father, he passed away not that long ago. Then my other side of my family, my grandmother passed on my biological father's side. My grandfather passed as well. Let's just think about that. Who are you going to? Me. 50 Cent says it best. Who am I going to cry to? Nobody. Me. I'm the one. So you got to think about that. And if you're a father and you're a mother and you're still coddling your 22-year-old son or your 18-year-old and you're not letting them actually learn these lessons, just FYI, you're just saving them from pain that they need to learn. It's just like walking. When they come out the womb, what happens? You're a wobble. You look, this is what a baby does. What does a baby do? Wobble. And then you wobble enough that you start crawling. Then you crawl and then you kind of walk. And it's really not walking. It's hilarious. You only know this when you're a dad. And then they actually walk and then they run. Life is the exact same way. In the beginning of anything, you're going to look like a complete idiot. Period. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You can look this up. You go to the mountain of Mount Stupid, and then you start going to the Valley of Despair because you started this thing, real estate investing or developing, and you're like, I could do this. And then you're like, God damn, this is hard. This is not easy. And then you start, if you can make it out of the Valley of Despair and start going up that slope, you got this. And that's how you got to look at it. So don't have the victim mentality. Start creating more of a winner's mentality. Winners learn, and that's it. You keep leveling up your learning skills, period. And I even have the same thing. Look, I don't have a massive team because that's a skill deficiency I don't have right now. I am learning how to get better with my team, period. And that's okay. That's it. Real estate deals go sideways all the time. Just what did you learn from it? Learn from it and move forward. That's it. If not, then just be a quitter. That's fine. That's your call of what you want to do. And the other thing is the power of taking risk and moving forward. Look, if you're waiting for the perfect moment, I guess what? It ain't going to happen. You just got to keep moving forward and you're going to learn from that aspect of it. The other aspect of it is, well, when fear of failure kills more dreams than actual failure itself. Why? Because you're assuming you're not going to make it rather than just give it a shot. Just give it a shot. There's no perfect time frame. Look, when we started these videos and these podcasts and everything else, I knew it wasn't going to be great. And I remember I even told Dave, I said, look, man, I'm in for the long haul. I know it's going to suck in the beginning. Probably you're amazing at it. I'm not, and I need to get better through time. And I'm in it for the long haul. It's an investment to me because I know one day I won't be here. But at least these videos and these lessons will always continuously be here as long as we have Wi-Fi and a screen that we can watch it, which I don't even know how long that's going to last, but it is what it is, right? Because there was a thing called the Ice Age before. So you don't want to have the fear of failure. You just want to just move forward and give it a shot. You don't want to look at it from like, I got to take a calculated risk. I got it. But then move forward and then learn, period. The risk of not taking a risk, the risk from inaction leads to regret. And when I got out of the military after serving 7 years in the United States Army, one of the major things I thought about was I don't want to live in regret. I don't want to live my life saying, what if? I don't want to do that. I'm going to take this risk and get out. And the military is the most stable place, period. Like you ain't getting fired unless you do something really stupid. Like you could slide into 20 years easily in the military. I would have been retired with 3 years more, right? So I got in when I was 19. I would have got out at 41. I'm 45 now. So I would have been retired a long time ago. But at the end of the day, that's not the path I wanted to go. I didn't want to live my life saying, what if? I'm a proud military veteran that served in 2 war conflicts. And I've served under, a general as a general's aide. I was an Army recruiter, won a ton of awards. So that was cool. But at the end of the day, I just went a different path because I didn't want to live my life saying, what if? I say to you, those individuals that are listening to this, don't live your life saying, what if? Go for it. What's the worst that can happen? That you can sleep at your mom and dad's house? What's the worst? Great. Then you'll have a great origin story because the beginning of the making of a great superhero is always the greatest origin story. Batman, both of his parents died right in front of him. Great origin story. Iron Man, what happened to this? His father passed away, and then he also almost died in a cave, right? And then he had to create the Iron Man suit, right? Great origin story. Wonder Woman got kicked out of the island of all the women. She was probably too hot, but it is what it is. But she got kicked out. She left. She wanted to see the world. Got it. That's her origin story. Green Lantern, he was a firefighter or a fighter pilot. Crashed, but he was also an idiot and very ego-driven, and then he transformed into something. Great origin story. So all these Superman as well was cast out of his what's this thing called? A planet, right? He was cast out, but then his planet got destroyed, right? Great origin story. And then he had to figure things out, right? These are great origin stories. So what's your origin story? You got to have a good one. And if you go through strife, it's all good. It is what it is. In real estate, look, you take the big swing. If you didn't hit the ball, that's fine. Take another swing. Give it another shot. Let me go back. What did I learn from it? So to me, real estate rewards the action takers, not the excuse makers. So look, if you are still breastfeeding right now, I don't know how you're listening to this, but if you're a grown-ass person, then you know that you're not breastfeeding, that you should be the one taking massive action. Move forward, take the action, and be great at something. And not a lot of things, just be great at that one thing. I had to take a lot of the other opportunities that I had, cut it off, and say, I'm going to focus 100% on trueinvestors.com. I'm going to go all in on just true investors because I believe in building a community for people with integrity who are egoless, and truly their purpose is because they love their community, they love their family, and they love the opportunity that real estate gives. That is why I'm in the game, period. I ask you, why are you in the game? If you have similar views of what I have, great. Go to trueinvestors.com. Let's do something. And if you don't, it's all good too. But just don't wait. That's it. Sometimes in real estate, deals take a long time. Opportunities take a long time. That's it. Great things take time. Keep working on perfecting your craft. If you haven't even rehabbed one house, how are you going to think you're going to do 10? If you haven't even done 10 houses, how do you think you're going to develop a 41 house community? Like, really think about it. So in transitioning from an investor to a developer, yes, that's making it big. That's creating smart bets, but that's learning from every aspect of the game so you can get better through time. Because the ultimate truth is this: you just don't move forward and nothing changes. You actually have to transform into something. It's kind of what they call metamorph into some. Metamorphosis means like a butterfly. How does a butterfly become a butterfly, right? So they're that caterpillar, and a caterpillar transforms, a metamorph into a butterfly. It literally metamorphs into a different creation, a different creature altogether. Now is your time to metamorph into something completely different. Why? Because there's no other time than right now, period. If you don't have Frank, I don't have the money for this, create it. Because at the end of the day, if you truly see value in something, you'll move forward. And if you don't, that's fine. Just keep playing the violin. Keep playing the violin. That's it. Keep playing the violin. Whatever excuses you have, when does the excuses end? Like, really think about it. When does it end? When do you stop breastfeeding for your mother? You're 32 years old. Like, seriously, get off your mother's nipple. Move forward. That's it. Keep going. You're going to be fine. I promise you. Frank, it's so hard. You live in America. Stop. You don't live in the middle. I've been in other countries that is struggle. Like, just turn on. If you think, Frank, you don't understand, man, it's so hard. Really? Okay, let's play this game. David, you're going to love this one. It's called Turn Off the AC at Your House for a Week. Oh, but you're struggling. Let me feel that one. You ever had that happen? I have. Why don't you work every single day, not knowing if you're going to actually be bombed? Why don't you sleep in a war zone, like a legit war zone? When I landed in Balad, we just invaded Balad. We blew up the airport the day before. Guess what was happening outside the gate? A firefight, bombs, everything else. But I had to sleep. You got to figure that out. Did I complain about it? Hell no. I asked for it. It's different. I was in the military at a different time frame. I saw 9/11 happen in front of my eyes on TV in real time. My grandmother lived in Manhattan. So I was like, the minute that shit happened, I was like, yeah, I'm getting out of recruiting. I'm definitely going down rage. We're going to kill somebody. I don't know who, right? Later on, I found out, I was like, damn, all 11 people on those planes were from Saudi Arabia. Why are we bombing Iraq? I don't make no damn sense. But I didn't know. Like, you don't know, right? But I felt patriotic about it. That's why True Investors has the logo with an American flag on the side and the side of a Frank Lloyd Wright building, is because I believe that, look, if you're truly ready to move forward, stop bitching and complaining. Like, look, nobody remembers sissies. Like, truly, who remembers a sissy? Who remembers somebody who's 30-something years old still asking your mommy and daddy permission? Like, are you serious? Or are you a grown-ass man? Or if you're a grown woman, like, think about it. Move forward. Make a decision. Period. Move or not. I look at it like this. Either you step up or you step out, but choose. So if you're ready to move forward and you're ready to move forward with that, I would say this. Look, if you're ready to do something different and have no excuses and just actually take action in the real estate investing world and in the development world, go to trueinvestors.com right now. If you're a property seller and you truly want to maximize how much money you can make right now on your deal, go to trueinvestors.com. If you're somebody that you're listening to this and you're like, dude, this is amazing. I love your energy. I love everything about it. Great. Leave a comment, forward it, do something. If you hate it, that's awesome too. Tell me what you don't like so we can improve as well. Or you're just like, Franklin, I just don't like caramel people. I'm like, all right, I got it. Caramel macchiato is not your thing. You're fine, right? Everybody got a different preference. I get it. Anyway, appreciate you. I'm out. Bye.